I really want to start off by just providing some background. So what I'm doing here as far as foam rolling and everything will be repeated. I'll put it in a loop, but I felt it was necessary to provide background to how I got this where I am today with respect to lower back pain. So rewind back into the 80s, I was a competitive powerlifter at the local level and basically did a lot of stupid things with respect to my lower back. I did partial deadlifts, squats, heck, I did negative squats and basically was lifting to just keep adding weight to the bar and getting the weight. And with the deadlift specifically, often overtrained and just went for broke with respect to getting it off the floor and everything. And definitely didn't have very good back position if you look at my history. And so along the way, lots of compression too. And so what happened in my 40s is I started getting a lower back that basically always seemed like it was inflamed. And no matter what I did, to the point where I basically had to stop, I had to stop with high amounts of compression forces, such as back squats with a bar on my shoulders, and of course, deadlifting itself would really cause inflammation. So I'd have trouble sitting, definitely in a car, having trouble sitting at a desk for any length of time. Again, more of an inflammation type lower back pain, not sharp or anything, just an achiness associated with it. Same thing with sleeping. Often I got to the point actually in time where I had to take an anti-inflammatory and more often than not just to sleep better at night. And traveling was a nightmare because, again, using different beds and along the way, also driving in a car. If we didn't fly, actually sleeping in a different bed was a nightmare. Now, I tried a lot of different things along the way, including chiropractic, and a couple different chiropractors actually, and it really didn't do any benefit. I did start foam rolling with a lighter foam roller than what you see here. This is a heavy duty rumble roller with knobs. And if you look at a regular foam roller, it's basically got a point of contact and it was pretty soft. And when I started doing that, it was pretty painful to do that. And that was years ago now. And so I basically used progression along the way. With the hardness of the foam roller, I got to the point where I actually created my own out of PVC with a very thin layer of around it. And then I saw this one, and this is what I would recommend for everyone just in general, because what you actually see me doing here is deep tissue massage. And because of those knobs, the tissue is able to, I guess, form through it rather than creating a point like on just a regular rolling type of foam roller. So the other thing you see is the ball, and that's actually a lacrosse ball. And that's a key piece of I right now preventing and keeping my lower back in really good condition. So where am I at now? So previously, my history got me to a point, and I kept doing the foam rolling and progressing to this rumble roller. And then a key point in time was I saw Joe DeFranco. I have to credit him for the lacrosse ball, and I used that all on my glutes and across in multi directions. And when I started doing that, it was so painful. There's no way I could use even close to my body weight in doing it. And again, used progression along the way. And I've now to the point of progression is I have to do this twice a day. I do it twice a day. I do it in the morning and I do it at night. And it only takes me, as you'll see when I restart the clip, about 5 minutes or so in order to do it. And basically, again, have used progression. Now, when I go on vacation now, I basically have a smaller version of the Rumble roller. And by the way, you can get both of those at Amazon. And I use a smaller version, travel version of the longer Rumble roller. And of course, I just bring the lacrosse ball because it's easily packs in a suitcase. And continue doing what I now call deep tissue massage twice a day in the morning and at night before I go to bed. And so, what are my results now? My results are I'm basically haven't taken an NSAID or anti-inflammatory for years. And the true test was I took a vacation, a 5-week vacation, December, January, into January 2020. I slept in 8 different beds in 5 weeks, and was in a car for 40 hours. And zero anti-inflammatories, zero medication, zero NSAIDs. Basically, I'm pain free from a lower back standpoint. Now, I don't know the specific reason, but those muscles, maybe as you age, this is just my theory, muscles, tendons, and ligaments really tighten up. And right now, I'm very, very pliable, as you can see. Even though I'm going to loop back and describe what I'm doing, you can see right now I'm actually on. When I use the lacrosse ball, it looks like I'm in pain, but I'm not. It's just a very deep tissue massage. So let me loop back here once we were through the whole routine, and I'll loop back. One other thing I want to mention, there's no way I can stop doing it twice a day because I basically start to lock up and get very, very tight from that perspective. But the 10 minutes that I basically spend every day is not much time for being pain free from that standpoint. So again, I did take out heavy. I took out deadlifting and squats with the bar on my spine. So that obviously can't hurt. And again, it becomes a discipline thing. So right now I'm 57, and again, I've been training for over 40 years. So here we go. We're going to loop back here in just a second to the beginning, and I'll describe what I'm doing. Okay, so here you have the heavy duty rumble roller. You can get it from Amazon. I also have a travel version of that because I have to do this twice a day. So again, I do it in the morning when I get up before I go to the gym, and at night before I go to bed. And you can see the lacrosse ball there as well. So basically, I'm doing my IT band on the side of my leg to start with. And again, I'm trying to use as much body weight as I can. Now I'm going to my front quadricep all the way again down to as you see me lift up to try and get all the way down and all the way up into my insertion of my hip as part of rolling out. And again, I've been doing it religiously for years now, and so it doesn't take me much time. Like I said, this is actually the video when I shot it was 6 minutes and 50 seconds. It's actually a little bit shorter than that if you look at me at what I'm actually doing. So now I'm doing basically my groin area as well, and you'll see I'm going to transfer to my hamstring. And when I do the hamstring, you're going to see me kind of doing the jig. And what I'm doing is really working it like someone was working left and right as deep as possible. So with those knobs, it feels really good to work it back and forth, left and right on my hamstring. And I try and go all the way into where my calf inserts into my knee as well. Here's a critical aspect of, even if you've had chronic knee pain, this could help, is rolling out the calves, and you're going to find that this is super painful for most people if they try and do this. Okay, you can see me crossing my legs to get as much body weight as possible on both calves. And it took a while of disciplined rolling on my calves over a long period of time to get what you see me being able to do without being, well, in excruciating pain, and not just be able to do it, period. Again, I'm doing the other hamstring, again, working it left and forth, back and forth, left and right. Now, again, this is deep tissue massage. What I'm really doing is deep tissue massage. You can see I'm doing the other side, IT band. If you've read studies that says that foam rolling doesn't do squat for you, it's pure BS, because this is allowing me to have no inflammation in my lower back and be pain-free. Okay, and it helps immensely. I start to lock up if I don't do this. My lower back starts to hurt, and start to get lower back pain and inflammation as part of it. So it's worth the 10 minutes that I'm taking per day to do this. And my body at 57 from all the abuse talks back to me, and I'm sure the studies didn't have old farts that abuse themselves in powerlifting, have chronic lower back pain, but no disc problems per se, and as the study participants. So right now you're going to see something. Notice I do not put it on my lower back. It's right at the very lowest part of my rib cage. Do not put it on your lower back. It's not good for your spine. Again, I took that input from others, and definitely makes sense to me. So I only do it to the very portion of my rib cage in the bottom. You're also going to see me do my basically lats as well, and you'll see me trying to work in and feel it back and forth, kind of the same way we did hamstring for deep tissue massage. And then I'm going to transfer over to doing triceps. I believe this has been really good for my elbow joints as well, and you're going to see me also do my shoulders overall as well. So again, those are the key points that I do only for my upper body as part of this routine. But again, I really don't have any elbow. I haven't had any elbow pain at all, and that's another really good indicator of proper training. And no knee pain, just to throw in there too. No lower back pain, no knee pain, no shoulder pain, and no elbow pain. After training for 40 years, including being a competitive powerlifter and really abusing the crap out of my body and lower back specifically, and shoulders. That's the other thing. I mean, I abuse my shoulders too. There's no question about it. I mean, I was using a cambered bar to bench press, for goodness sakes. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. And I wanted to get a big bench press in my 20s, no matter what. And I was stretching the crap out with a fixed barbell with I think it was probably a 6-inch step. Now here's the bread and butter, and again I want to thank Joe DeFranco. Joe, you've been able, if I'd love for you to be able to see this. I got onto the using lacrosse ball by watching one of his videos, and this is the bread or the meat from the meat and potatoes. Okay, and it's the key element for, in my belief, for my lack of lower back pain or inflammation. And again, there's no way. 8 beds in 5 weeks, 8 foreign beds in 40 hours of driving in a car and sitting, and zero anti-inflammatories, zero NSAIDs, and along the way. So the proof is in the pudding from that standpoint. So I'm a huge believer in basically what I'm doing here, which is deep tissue massage. Again, you'll notice I'm going longitudinally and laterally when I use the lacrosse ball, so I'm going in both directions. Could I do that originally? No. No, I could not do that. Again, you're seeing me, who's very advanced, doing this, including going over my tailbone. See how I got forward there into the hamstring? The ball is actually into my hamstring now at this point and rolling over my tailbone into my glute area now I'm in my glute area again. So you can see me working it, and also I turn sideways somewhat and working it. You see I'm turning sideways. It's working into the hip as well, and where the insertion is there. Again, you're looking at me when over a long period with discipline, twice a day, never miss from that standpoint. So last thing actually is another Joe DeFranco, which is putting body weight on the ball and working it across. And I was surprised too. He said you're going to find your whole body tends to feel a lot looser when you do this, and he was actually right. I was shocked. I don't know what it is, but it does help. So that's basically it, and I hope this helps some of you out there with respect to maybe you have lower back pain, and this deep tissue massage routine can help you.